This meeting is no longer being recorded.
How are you? It closes this week.
This
That's why
meeting is
initially
being
I sent an
recorded.
email on Sunday. I was like, I don't know if she's gonna pick it up sooner. I mean, if it up longer, they might extend it. But that's why I sent that email. I said, look, there's only 3 bodies. We can figure it out before it comes down. So I didn't get a chance to read their responses yet, but
I have in my deal here. Good morning.
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 We will call you to order for our Tuesday, October 31st trustee board meeting. Hear the roll call.
Okay. Mayor Biassiata is not here. Mayor Kumar is not here. Mr. Love,
Here.
President Lucas,
Present.
Ms. McPherson,
Here.
Ms. Mersman,
Here.
Mr. Sleesman,
Here.
Mayor Weiss,
Present.
and Ms. Welch is not here. We have 6 board members present. You have a quorum.
All right. Ms. Welch had called this morning. There's illness in her family. We certainly send our prayers and best wishes to her. We need to have the approval of the February 26th meeting. We have a motion.
Mr. President, I think we first need to
I'm
read the
sorry,
notice.
certification. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. President, I first advise that notice of this meeting has been posted more than 24 hours in advance of the meeting, and that the usual notification has been given the news media and other interested persons, and that all requirements of the Ohio Revised Code and rules and bylaws of this board regarding notice of meeting have been complied with.
Great, thank you. May I have the approval, please, for the board meeting? Motion?
So moved, Mayor Weiss.
Second?
Second, Mersman.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We've now time for public comments. 2 minutes on agenda items. The mic is available to you, and we will be glad to hear from all who are here.
Board members of the board, this is Mr. Rodriguez presenting for this board meeting, and I'm truly concerned about the maintenance of the red line rapid stations. The trains are not clean. Most of the people probably use the restrooms on these trains. I'm not sure. Every time I step on a train, It smells a little bit funny. I care about the system. That's why I come here. I care about the cleanliness of our trains, our buses, and I actually want to work with you on promoting the system, whether it's doing some type of advertisement, some type of publicity. I'm up for doing that. And I would like to start caring about the system a little bit more and showing up at these meetings. I care and I truly advocate for a better service, and especially on the paratransit service. We need to try to improve the quality of service on there as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else here wish to speak? Anybody else here on the agenda items? Anybody else? If not, we'll go to the telephone.
In the back, do we have anyone online? I think they're checked.
Caller 0387, you can talk.
Derek Stewart. Today is October 31st. This is my 30th appearance by phone at your Board of Trustees meeting. The following things have still not been corrected, and your claim is that they were corrected and were working all along. If you call 621-9500, it makes a comment on the automated system that says that you can participate in the survey. After any questions that are asked on that line, the phone cuts you off. You can't participate in the survey most of the times. One of the 12 times that I did try to participate in the survey, there was an option to do that, and it was asking me about the paratransit and what I thought about the paratransit. I don't ride paratransit. I don't even know anybody that rides paratransit, so I didn't do the survey. Secondly, I sent an email to Sharon Jenkins, the head of your marketing department, expressing her to take a good look, although I understood clearly that she was not part of the planning committee, about these commercials that she's running, saying let's go together, school, work, library, shopping, and I pointed out to her that the 15A and the 48A better serves that than the current service that they have right now and how it should be put in place. If you're going to run a commercial like that, I'd like you to at least give some consideration to that. I haven't seen those commercials since she got that email. She responded to it, and then I haven't seen I don't even know if you're running the commercials anymore. Then the other thing is the Community Advisory Committee, which has not been in place for at least 6 months, still is not in place. In the last board meeting, your CEO, India Birdsong-Perry, said that it would be. It's not. I don't know that you've even interviewed anybody to be on the committee. I don't know anybody that's been interviewed to be on the committee. And in addition to that, it wasn't working very well when it was in service because people weren't getting the emails they were supposed to be getting so they can make advisory decisions on things regarding service, such as 15A being put in place and the 48A being put in place. And then the final thing here is this. I don't know
Time is up
any
on
of
the
your
call.
Board of Trustees meetings has done anything to study information I've given you.
All right, next.
Thank you, Mr. Stewart. Anyone else? Okay,
We have no other calls at this time.
another person
Reverend,
in person,
Yes,
Reverend?
there is another
Lucas
person.
that would like to make a,
Few.
if you could just state your name when you get to the podium, if you would like to.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Joyce Levy. I started riding paratransit about 20 years ago. I had a brainstem stroke, and I wasn't able to drive. Right now, I have no transportation except for paratransit. Unfortunately, some of the places I go to, one main place, Fair Hill Partners, the GPS is always taking the drivers to the wrong address. We don't understand why. I have reported it more than once. I was told to do so. I don't know what y'all can really do about it, but sometimes the driver will end up leaving that wrong address, and then I have no transportation home. And when I call in, they tell me, well, you were a no-show. I am at the address that I gave. The GPS and the driver is taking them to the wrong place, whether they're taking me or bringing me back. It's happening every week, sometimes 2 and 3 times a week. Sometimes the paratransit is very late to the point I arrive at the VA hospital because I'm a veteran at the end of my appointment, so I don't even have a chance to attend the appointment. Then I have to reschedule, which isn't easy. Sometimes I have no transportation. It just doesn't show up at all. I don't know what else to do. I wish that y'all could come up with something to help us. There are a lot of us that are going through this, and we're not all veterans. I have a friend, I was hoping that she would be here. She has gone through having to pay for Lyft because paratransit doesn't show up. It doesn't show up to take her to her appointment and doesn't show up to come back and pick her up after she has paid for Lyft to get there. I hope that all of you will understand and be able to address these issues. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Anybody else? The screen keeps me from seeing everybody. Is there anybody else here who wishes to speak? Anybody else? All right. Anybody on the web forum? All right. Thank you very much. All right. We have our Board of Governance Committee report. Any chairperson have any reports for us today? Ms. Welch is not here. Mayor Tony, Mayor Kumar, anybody else?
Reverend Lucas,
Yeah.
right next to you. I do have a general update on behalf of the work being done for the CAC. As we mentioned last month, we are undergoing background checks for those 13 individuals that we have reviewed, that the board will be looking at next month. We will bring the slate of potential candidates to the board in November. We are completing the background checks and plan to have that on the agenda for November. Just wanted to give that update to the board.
All right, very good. We have introduction of new employees and announcement of promotion. Fields, how are you today? All right. Oh, you have help? How you doing? You have help with you today. I'm seeing.
All right. Good morning, President Reverend Lucas, members of the board, Ms. Birdsong Terry. I'd like to introduce to you Ida Ford, our talent acquisition manager. Herself and her team are the folks that are behind these new hires and promotions that we celebrate every month. New hires and promotions are certainly her business, and she's going to be able to present those to you this morning.
Good morning. Thank you, George.
Well, good morning to you, and welcome to the great RTA, and also welcome to our board meeting. She's really taken charge of her department with the type of enthusiastic work that we are certainly happy about, and anything that we can do to help you along, please do not hesitate to call on us. Good to see you, Ms. Ford.
Thank you, Board President. Also, thank you, Mrs. Birdsong Terry. It is a pleasure to announce the names of the new October new hires. Our team is working really hard, and I really feel really honored to do this today, so thank you. October new hires, Tracy Hendricks, Talent Management Coordinator.
Pardon me, Ms. Ford, let me ask you, are any of them here?
No. No, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Tracy Hendricks, Talent Management Coordinator. Lisa Kosher, Administrative Analyst. Joseph Jordan, Equipment Servicer. Javon Colon Feliciano, Hustler. Joshua Committee, Electric Equipment Maintainer. And Tracy Jacobs, Transit Ambassadors. I will now read the operators. Matthew Green, Andrea Caver, Tyreek Crump, Denny Holbrook, Michelle Myers, Deshauna Blue, Antonio Taylor, Asia Evans, Hassan Davis, Gloria James, James Taylor, and Jameer Davis. Moving on is Nina Moore, Jacqueline Lundy, Alina Thomas, Lionel Langford, Bryce Britton, Kiara Gibson, Lee Hupp, Thomas Little, and Therese Brooks. Edward Oviedo, Carlos Brown, Jasmine Montgomery, Clarence Vaughn, Lakeisha Perkins Leapart, Alicia Little, Jerome Lewis, Monique Williams, Quincy Foreman. And finally, Terrence Owens and Tamika Powell.
No, Teresa, the promotion slide.
Okay. I guess it wasn't
Did we miss
included.
anybody?
We got promotions as well. Before we get to that slide, before we get to that surprise.
You want to just mention?
So, no longer a surprise, right? Just go ahead and leave those off.
All right.
James Blue is actually here.
Okay, good. Okay, good. We are going to have our October promotions, and it is an honor to stand before you and the full board to acknowledge individuals who have received promotions during the month of October for their commitment to excellence, skill, and their effort. We do have one of the individuals here today, and we would like for you to stand when I call your name. Actually, I'll call it first, and that is James Liu, promoted to Planner 3. Thank you, James. Thank you. We also have Nate Robbins, promoted to Planner 3. Jeremy Davis, promoted to Line Maintainer. Carla Wilborn, promoted to Telephone Operator Information Clerk. Leroy Millsap III, promoted to Assistant Equipment Supervisor. And Michael Plants, promoted to Paratransit Equipment Group Leader. We want to give those all individuals a round of applause. That concludes my portion.
Before we go to the unsurprise, I'd like to be able to, if it's okay, just say thank you again to the HR team. As you probably recognize on the sheet that we had or the slide that you had, you see operator, 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 operator. That's not by consequence. That is not coincidental. That's truly on purpose. There has been a concerted effort by everyone here at RTA to be able to kind of close the gap on the operator shortfall that we have, such as we have throughout the nation. And I will say that recruitment and HR and training has been, they've taken the challenge personally. And I think to be able to think outside the box and be able to meet people where they are and also bring folks into RTA that may not have normally thought about RTA as a career in transportation is something that they've taken seriously, and you can see it reflected in the numbers. So relief is coming to those individuals in the audience that are from operations. As was mentioned by the young lady here for paratransit, that is also a concern. It's manpower as well as vehicles as well. And I would suggest, you have to forgive me, I didn't catch your first name, but I'll call you Miss Veteran. If Miss Veteran here would be able to meet, we have two managers, one director, one manager, Venetia Houston and Nick Davidson. If you could raise your hand in the back here, make sure you see her on your way out to ensure that we get that Fair Hill Apartments accurately reflected in our address book, and then also check on the other items that she mentioned. But this all comes down to the manpower and the vehicle availability, and we have to be able to get on top of that, and we're doing that. Ida, if I could put you on the spot, how many do we have in training, give or take?
72.
There you go. That makes a difference. That makes a huge difference. So as I mentioned, relief is coming. It's on the way. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I do not see our transit police in the back. However, we are on task to be able to close that gap by the end of the year as well, and that should bring us up to speed with room to spare. So I appreciate the team, good work, and keep it going. Chairman.
I do apologize for omitting the promotions. I'll make sure I get that out. We'll post that to the website.
Thank you. If I may add, today is my anniversary, 1 year anniversary today. 1 year.
All right, now for the surprise. So I've got the pleasure of announcing congratulations and celebration to two individuals that have been with us for 45 plus years and now celebrating 45 years with the RTA. And that's quite dedication, quite commitment. They've spent almost all of their adult life with the RTA family, connecting the community and making things happen. And so we have in the audience with us this morning, Scott Clifford, schedule analyst out of the Service Management Department and Operations, and James Jimmy Smith from the Paratransit District Paratransit Operator. As we work through this celebration, we see we've got some cameras, we've got some things that we'd like to have happen with the CEO, General Manager, and our Board President, but just to read off a couple things about both of these individuals. Is it going? There we go. So Scott Clifford, 45, 46 plus years ago, started with us in telephone information and as a service monitor, spent about 20 years there and is now our schedule analyst for the last 22 years. Scott is the person behind the scenes making sure that connecting the community really happens for the operators and for the passengers. And as we recognize Scott, as we say, he's behind the scenes, but what a more important job to be able to put together these schedules and put together the feedback that we hear from the community and make it happen for the folks that are out on the road. Scott, why don't you come up front and be recognized for this wonderful service. We're going to bring you over here to the picture board. All right. Next, we have James Jimmy Smith from Paratransit Operator. As he's gone through his 45 plus years, he's been Paratransit Operator throughout that whole time frame, making sure that passengers get where they need to go safely, rain, sleet, and snow, connecting the community, helping out our district council, mentoring folks in the district, and being an overall leader for RTA as well as our communities. Mr. Smith, congratulations.
45 years, great service at Perry Transit. On behalf of all of us, thank you for that congratulations.
Come up.
You want to say something? Go ahead. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank everybody for the recognition and kind words, and to be given the opportunity to say, it's been a pleasure. I met a lot of great people with this organization, and it's been a family. And it's a blessing on top of everything. I just want to say thank you.
I'm moving away from the board because I'm going to make an announcement, and I want to be as far away from them so they wouldn't.
Dr. Caver, can you give him the microphone?
Brother Fields and Ms. Ford and our Minor to join me for a minute. I am wearing a brand new coat that was presented by their department, and they sent it over. Don't look at it too long, just old board members, because this was, and they made it special, and they put on here, Board of Trustees President. Isn't it beautiful? Yes. And I ran out and bought me a red sweater and a new pair of glasses to match my new blue coat. But thank you again, committee, for this. I will treasure it.
We have the sharpest board chair out of all transit boards.
While everybody is gathering their seat, I just want to reiterate congratulations to those employees that are retiring, promoted, and new hires, as well as the two gentlemen that were highlighted today. It was commented by both gentlemen that it's difficult to stay anywhere for 45 years, let alone in a job, right? You usually hear that when people are married 45 years, and that's even tougher. So we appreciate both of them for it. It's amazing to me to hear that that's a lifetime in a career. So we appreciate them and hope that they enjoy their time off. And I think we may even see them back at some point in time. I told both of them they're too young to look like they've got 45 years. So we'll see what happens from there. Thank you.
Teresa.
President Lucas, I think we're at resolutions.
All right, resolutions, 2023-81.
Expressing appreciation to Terrence P. Joyce for his service as a member of the Board of Trustees of the Greater Cleveland Regional Transit Authority and extending best wishes for many years to come.
All right, you have heard that. Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
All right, we are delighted to have him with us today. And Terrence, if you'll be kind to come up, and I would go back over there, but I wouldn't want the 45 to get mixed up with how many years you've served on the board. But this is we all understand that this is a board that you do not come to stay forever, but we're always so sad to see some of our top members who have given so much. And I have enjoyed working with him. He is not only a labor leader in his own union, but he's well respected in all of the unions across the board. And we have really enjoyed being able to call on him for advice. And Terry, I hope you know I'm not going to lose your telephone number. Absolutely. And I want to stay in touch with you. And on behalf of the board, whereas you have been on our committee, you have served as chairperson, and we resolve to wish you the very best. And here's this special plaque. It's on solid gold, so if you ever need any money, in the corner and you'll get something for it. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Just thanks, everybody. You know, it's been a long time since I took the 22 down Lorraine to school every morning, and then off to college at Loyola. I took the train every day into town, the L, where our general manager comes from. So transit played a real important role early on in my life, and it was such a great honor in my working career to serve Greater Cleveland, to serve this board, and hopefully the hard men and women that work every day to keep this place up and running. So I've enjoyed my time. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just down the street, so give me a holler with anything you need. Great. Thanks.
Won't you join us for a picture? Where's our photographer? Board member? All those in favor, aye? Yes. There'll be no one nay to that.
Aye.
All right, 2023-82.
Expressing congratulations to the employees of the Greater Cleveland Regional Transit Authority who retired during the third quarter of 2023.
Have a motion?
Move to approve.
All right, Mr. Field?
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Good morning again, Mr. President Lucas, Ms. Birdsong-Terry, members of the board. It's my pleasure to introduce to you our third quarter retirees. We actually have 3 that are here with us that we'll recognize. James E. Davis, Supervisor of Power and Way. Brenda Ziegler, Administrative Assistant. Sharon Rudolph, Service Quality Coordinator. Joseph Mate, Electronic Equipment Maintainer, or Electronic Equipment Technician. Thomas Moon, Paratransit Operator. Joseph Kuhn, Bus Operator. David Shizano, Bus Operator. Samuel Hutchins, Bus Operator. Keith Brown Jr., Bus Operator. Faye Moore, Bus Operator. And James Walker Jr., Bus Operator. As I mentioned, three of those retirees are here to be celebrated this morning. And so as I call your name, come on up to the front so that we can provide you with your celebration and your kudos. We'll start with Sharon Rudolph, Service Quality Coordinator. Next, we have James Walker Jr., bus operator. And Samuel Hutchins, bus operator. As you get recognized, we always give operators some opportunity to say a few words and certainly have a photo opportunity with our CEO, General Manager, and Board President and Board here. Sharon, you want to say a few words?
Mr. Fields, can we give her the microphone?
Yeah.
I just want to thank everyone for my 32 years of employment here at RTA. You guys made it very enjoyable for me. I started off as an operator. I drove for 16 years. I was a supervisor for 13 years and service quality coordinator for 3 years. And all 32 years were wonderful, and I thank you all.
It's James Walker Jr. And the time I had with RTA was very grateful and had no problems at that time. And I started at Buckeye Woodhill, then merged it off to Harvard, then picked it, did a little Triscuit of driving, then went to Hayden to finish my time there. So ever since I've been in RTA from the job I used to have when I was at Channel 3, I had no problems at this moment, and I thank y'all very much, with all my heart.
Yes, good morning to everyone. My name is Samuel Hutchins. I started my journey at Harvard, and I also started it there as a subcontractor for RTA. Kind of been around a little bit, and I enjoyed the ride. I appreciate it. You know, so many people I ran into, and just so happened I had a birthday yesterday. I turned 72. So thank you so much. You know, just eating cake and ice cream with the kids now are not used to being at home, you know, and the wife is saying, oh, you're trying to go back to work. But I'm like, don't push it. But I really thank God for all of the supervisors and managers and people I ran to in my life. You know, just having patience with me, because it's not easy being a bus driver. Sometimes you know, things do happen, and I see my boss over here laughing at me. But, you know, to get, you know, just to have patience with us, you know, as bus drivers, the most important part. And then my communication with manager is definitely the most important part. So you guys hang in there. I'm probably not going anywhere. You see me around. You know, I always believe once you're RTA, you're RTA until life, you know. So God bless everyone. I appreciate you. Thank you.
And let me get one more. Most of all, that's not here now, that I thank them that they've been in my corner for a while, was Bill Smith and Karen Cunningham.
Certainly, I want to, on behalf of the board, congratulate the three of you. I've known this young lady through all of her moves up, and you must have started when you were 16, because you're still young as ever. But she has done such a great job, and our bus drivers, they deserve so much of our appreciation, because they are dealing with the unknown every day, and yet they have to be known, and they have to be able to keep their cool through some amazing situations. But we certainly wish you the best. Go miss you, my darling. And again, give them a big hand for their work. All right. $2023.83.
Mr. President, it was moved and seconded. Did you want to ask for a vote?
Yeah, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
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 Thank you very much. I read it out. Go ahead. That's 2023-83.
Authorizing contract number 2023-101 with Key Bank N.A. to provide banking services and to serve as depository for the authority's active funds for a term of up to 5 years.
All right, we have a motion.
So moved, Mayor Weiss.
Thank you.
Second.
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 All right, any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, no. Thank you very much. 2023-84.
Amending budget appropriations for the fiscal year 2023 capital improvement budget to provide for an increase of $32 million.
All right, we have a motion.
So moved, Mayor Weiss.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you very much. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any question? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, no. Thank you very much. We will now, as always, be thrilled by the Secretary of Treasurer's report, as he will tell us how much we have in the bank. Good to see you, Brother Draper. You owe me a lunch. You owe me a lunch. I haven't forgotten that.
Good morning, Reverend Lucas, members of the board. My name is Raj Gautam. I am the Deputy General Manager of Finance and the Board Secretary Treasurer. As has been our norm, I am here to recap essentially the monthly package that you have in your board package. We'll concentrate on the general economic conditions under which we're operating and highlight the largest sources of operating revenue and provide some updates. We'll begin by looking at the economic conditions under which we're operating. The annual inflation rate, if you remember, had hit a high of 9.1% in June 2022. It has been declining steadily since then. At the end of September 2023, inflation remained at 3.7%, which was matching the 3.7% in August 2023. The Federal Reserve raised interest rates again in July to 5.5%. They are scheduled to meet today and tomorrow to determine the next round of increases, if any. So we'll have that information hopefully towards the end of tomorrow. Interest rates, as you all know, are currently at the highest level in 22 years. Excuse me. Reviewing the ridership for the last several years, including the pre-pandemic of 2019, on the right-hand side, you see the year-to-date ridership in millions. In 2019, we were at 21.18 million. In 2023, we are at 14.16%, which indicates that we're still about 33% lower than pre-pandemic levels as far as ridership is concerned. September 2023 ridership was 11.4% higher when compared to September 2022 levels. Passenger fares, once again, looking at the right side of the slide, on a year-to-date basis and a comparison to pre-pandemic 28.73 million, the passenger fare revenue is roughly 29% lower than where it was in 2019. For September 2022, the fare revenue was 3.2% below. For September 2023, it was 3.2% below when compared to September 22 levels. On a year-to-date basis, passenger fare revenue is 8.2% higher than the 2023 levels. Sales tax being the largest source of our operating revenue for October 2023, which once again is based on the activity from July 2023 with a 3-month lag in the imposition of the sales tax and the point we collect it. It was 4.8% lower when compared to October 2022. On a year-to-date basis, however, we are still 3.1% higher when compared to last year. Of the categories that make up the sales tax base, 11 of the 23 categories were positive in October. Online sales were 10.6% higher. Regular and statewide sales were 1.3% lower, and motor vehicles and watercraft were 23.7% lower. With that, I would be happy to answer any questions you may have.
All right, questions to the treasurer? Questions, board members? Questions, questions? If not, as always, congratulations and thank you for an excellent report.
Appreciate it.
And now we turn to our hardworking, nationally as well as internationally known CEO,
Oh boy.
Birdsong Terry.
Thank you, Reverend. That is difficult to follow up with. I'll be very brief today. We've had a lot of celebrations and reason for celebrations. So again, congratulations to our retirees. We also wanted to bring in new blood and say congratulations to our new board members. We've got 2 board members flanking the ends, if you would raise your hand there. We've got Deidre McPherson and Stephen Love. We appreciate both of you for joining our ranks here. As we say goodbye to Terry, we appreciate Terry for his time on the board as well. Had to check you're still behind me, Terry. That is very apropos. You're always behind us and supporting us and making sure that we are making the right decisions when it comes to, I believe, your specialty areas of union leadership and stewardship, and also development and construction. Those are 2 very difficult areas of expertise to come by, and we appreciate you for that. And I will not forget your phone number, so please answer when we call 1,000,000 times. Also wanted to be able to make good on our promise to the board, just to mention the rail car in as many presentations as we can. Wanted to just recap where we've come and where we're going with the new rail car replacement project. We are headlong into the process to be able to start really getting into realizing those rail cars coming in the next 3 to 4 years or more as we continue to replace the entire fleet. April of 2023, the Board of Trustees approved the purchase of 24 rail cars through Siemens Mobility, which will be our partner in making that realization come true. We do have an option to purchase up to 60 cars total, and that would be replacement of the heavy and light fleet. And remember, we're looking for a common car that will be able to kind of flex between the 2 modes of transportation for rail. In October of 2023, we increased the 2023 capital improvement program budget by $32 million, and that's funding for an additional 6 cars and spare parts. And then upcoming for the next month in November, we will present a resolution to exercise the first option to purchase those additional 6 rail cars and spare parts. You will also receive a more in-depth presentation from our internal auditor, Tony Garofoli, who stands behind me on my left. And again, this was a promise that we will make good on and continue to do so every quarter in the internal audit presentation. And that committee, of course, is welcome to all members to be able to understand the details of this. We also will recap this in the board meeting as needed as we continue to go through the process. We have a very robust stewardship of that program and all hands on deck to make sure that we're managing that money as appropriate. Also wanted to just spend a little bit of time recapping on any of our travels. We always do this. As mentioned by our board chairman, we do take our business outside of Cleveland when necessary to make sure that we're finding out what's going on with market trends, that we're staying ahead of the game when it comes to technology, and that we also are looking for new partnerships to be able to break the mold when it comes to breaking down internal silos. So what does that mean? What you see in front of you is myself as well as Deputy General Manager George Fields. You heard from him this morning from HR, and Natoya Walker-Minor. You saw her this morning as well over External Affairs and Administration. The gentleman to my left, as I'm looking at it, represents TransPro Consulting. They're working with us on those scorecards that we have the review every quarter for the board. They are working in the data integrity sort of space with us. And we really had an opportunity while we were in Orlando to attend the APTA Expo to talk at their booth for about 15 minutes, 20 minutes or so on the experience that we have here in Cleveland to really get into the data compilation, internal culture change, and success outcomes. Those are the 4 areas of focus that we always kind of harken back to. It was a great experience just being able to talk through what our change and success culture has been like. We have a long way to go, but we're doing pretty well. I actually had a few folks that had said, you guys look like it's genuine. You all really get along. And we had a good time. I think that's indicative of us working together, and we do. Great travel partners there, Natoya and George, just being able to really kick the tires on some new strategies for workforce development and also external partnerships. So it was great. I appreciate you guys for traveling with me to Florida. And this was icing on the cake for a few moments to really show how we shine here in Cleveland. Also wanted to make sure that you were aware that we have an event coming up.
Jeff was on that trip
Yes.
as well, wasn't he? Jeff was on that trip.
I'm sorry?
Jeff, were you on that?
Absolutely.
Jeff, you wanted to
Absolutely.
add something today? Did you want to have a word on that?
Nothing too important, but it was an interesting trip, a good conference. We learned a lot. It was huge, a little bit too much walking, but it was good, and we made a lot of contacts and learned a lot of stuff.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Reverend. Absolutely. So Jeff was actually on the other side of the camera on this particular shot. So he was in the audience supporting us, as does Terry and all the other members, to be able to kind of sit there and listen to what we were saying, and also, I believe, engage with a lot of other board members and those that were seeking the same kind of engagement through data compilation. So we appreciate you, Jeff. As always, I'll try to seek out the next photo with you in it to make sure that you're on the other side of the camera. Thank you, Reverend. Wanted to make sure that you had this on your calendars. November 30th, we're a little, about actually less than a month out, excuse me, but we will be coming up with a business open house is what we're calling it right now. As you're fully aware, we are headlong into the microtransit phase of development for RTA, really trying to get to that first last mile, understanding how we can close the gap with the mobility options for those that are employed outside of our service area or just beyond our last stop. We wanted to make sure that we can always work to plan our service and expand our service to those that need it most. With any generational shift of a city or development, manufacturers' sites change. And with that, our service has to also be flexible. To that point, we've worked with Share Mobility. This is the second pilot or the second program. That being said, you'll see that it began on October 16th. That was the official kickoff of the program. We have the first program going on now in Solon, and we have the second one that will be at the Aerozone. So we're looking for educational opportunities to let those Aerozone businesses be able to sign on to the microtransit program. This will serve as that educational kickoff, so we're calling it the Business Open House. I refrain from calling it a ribbon cutting or anything of that sort until we start to get those signed on and really be able to celebrate the win. We're not there yet, but we're very close. We do anticipate a couple of new vendors, I believe, that are looking positively for signing on within the next week or two, so we're excited to be able to bolster those numbers. As you know, the Aerozone is a hotbed for more than 100 businesses, so we really look forward to being able to get those numbers shooting up pretty quickly within the next few months. So again, mark this on your calendars. We'll send more information out shortly, but we are planning a business open house for the Ohio Arizona Institute area to be able to talk about microtransit and what it can do for your business. Also wanted to be able to shout out to the arts community. This is a lovely mural that we trudged through the waters of the red tape of government and also across continents as we worked with Stami Paul, who was actually housed in South Africa at the time that we signed the papers, so to speak, for the artists to be able to do the work at the Irishtown Bend mural. So this was completed on October 24th of this year. This is located on the RTA Viaduct Pier in the Flats. Take a walk by if you have time. The name of the mural is Full Circle, and the artist is Vic Savage. He is a commissioned artist through a Graffiti Heart, and Stami Paul serves as their president and CEO and founder. We truly are appreciative of Stami and her international texting as well as phone calls and emails through Zimbabwe, South Africa, and wherever her travels may take her. We wanted to make sure that we got this done. Amazing shout out to Anna Lavix in our legal department, Judy Lincoln in our claims division, and Don Tarka in our legal as well as Jim Reed in real estate, and of course Mary Beth Feek in planning. They did a yeoman's job of being able to get through the paperwork and insurance to be able to ensure that we had this lovely mural to celebrate our community. This celebrates the history of Irishtown Bend. As you know, there's a lot of development activity going on in that area as well, celebrated through the city, and we are truly appreciative of bringing the arts and culture through RTA. So take a moment and stroll by that when you have time. Whether it's on our trains, that would be preferable, and to be able to actually see that as you take in your sights of the city. Again, wanted to say congratulations to both gentlemen here, Mr. Clifford and Mr. Smith. Congratulations, we appreciate you. And with that, I'll take any questions. Otherwise, I'll hand it back to you, President Lucas.
All right, any questions? Any statements to the director? Anybody? If not, thank you very much, and continue the hard work that you're doing for us. And my report has already been given, and all of the things we've been doing, where we've been. And I again thank the board for their support, as well as members of the staff who spend so much time with me during the month. And certainly Dr. Caver, I want you out because you kind of quarterback on a lot of things that go on as far as our schedule is concerned, along with Dr. Minor and others. And of course, Nick from Paratransit and Benicia is here. I could just go all around the room and thank all of you for making our report complete each month. So thank you very much. Any old business? Any old business? Any old business? Any new business? All right. The proposal for the committee schedule is before you. There's a draft before you. Is there any, we need a motion to approve that today, is that right?
It is the pleasure of the board.
All right. You have looked it over. How does it sound to you right now? All right. Can we have a motion of approval when you're ready? Did everybody get the draft? All right. We have a motion?
So moved, Mayor Weiss.
Second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, no. Thank you very much. And now public comments. You are welcome to address the mic. Any other public comment? You can come back. You get a chance to talk twice. Talk 3 times if you want to. But we won't be here for the third one, but we'll be here for the second one. All right.
Oh, thank you. Good morning again. As I was given a new name, the veteran, my name is Joyce Levy. And I did speak earlier about paratransit. I had another comment. You have a complaint line. It would be very much appreciated if someone would call us back when we do call in a complaint. We don't do it too often, but we feel like it is necessary, and sometimes we feel like maybe what has occurred on that particular transportation schedule was almost a matter of life and death. And I have called in once about that because there was an incident and the passengers, we were afraid. So please answer the complaint line. And again, Joyce Levy.
Well, thank you, Ms. Levy. All right. Anybody else?
Good morning, everybody.
Morning, Lou.
It's really a great day. We can celebrate so many good things. But I would like to continue a couple of topics. I have also mentioned that before in the past. Our paratransit service actually has big improvement within even the time we have this COVID-19 pandemic. However, this also goes to a situation which I think the board and all the administrative staff, you should reconsider. And maybe that will reflect in our budget later, I'm not sure. Due to COVID-19 pandemic, people actually lost lots of the places they can go, including using the public restrooms. However, before COVID-19 pandemic, lots of our rapid stations got redesigned, so they have no public restrooms, even no elevators. Then we have another batch of renovation. The reason right now, even the newer renovated rapid station will not smell good, that's because don't even think about just homeless population. Even regular people, if they already grabbed the coffee, wait for their ride, and they cannot hold it. So I would say, due to this situation, maybe we should reconsider how we build our facilities for the riders. Same thing, paratransit service, if we cannot consider all the rights and the people's health condition, you will still need to put on a depends to get a ride. Please do reconsider these things important for the riders, as well as our progress we have already made. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Anybody else here? Anybody else? Because I can't see him. That's it? All right, go to the telephone.
Anybody on the phone in the back?
We have one caller. Caller 0387, you can go ahead.
Charles Lucas, in addition to celebrating your new coat, could you find out why if you call 621-9500 and it says there's a survey where you can address customer service, you just get disconnected from the call, or they want you to give compliments on paratransit, even though people don't ride paratransit sometimes, including me. India Perry, if you have 72 trainees in paratransit right now, could you explain what that has to do with you taking on customers if you're short on drivers? Why are you taking on customers, telling them you're going to get them there on time if you're short on drivers? If you're actually doing background checks on the Community Advisory Committee, and that's what CAC stands for, you didn't know that last month, but if you're actually doing background checks, what are the questions so the public can better assess why it's taken an entire year for you to put in a Community Advisory Committee board, which is still not there? And are they going to be competent to do their job because the previous one didn't, which is why they're not there anymore? Could somebody explain to me why after I showed Sharon Jenkins, the head of your marketing department, how the 15A lines up with their commercials and the 48A lines up with their commercials and the 50 lines up with their commercials, the commercials stopped. You didn't put in the route, but the commercials stopped. At least it appears that they've stopped. Could somebody explain that to me? And you have 2 new Board of Trustees members. Are they going to address the questions that are posed to them from the public about these routes that nobody else in the Board of Trustees has addressed, even though I've shown overwhelming evidence of this matter? And then here's one, while you were having a good time in Florida, did you draw some conclusions on why your Treasury is spending more time giving percentages in place of the numbers that the percentages should be based on, so the public actually know what he's talking about when he's giving these percentages and that they line up with the accurate assessment of the facts of what he's describing?
You'll have 10 seconds.
The answer, I mean, I know you want to talk about your coach, Charles.
Thank you, Mr. Stewart. Do we have any more callers in the back?
We have no more callers.
Anybody on web?
No web form comments.
All right, thank you very much. The next regular board meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, November the 28th, 2023, here in this board room. The meeting will be live streamed as well as on the board. So please be here in public view, or we'll be listening for you on the air. Public is always welcome to attend in person. Any other comments from our board? If not, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Your second?
Second.
Second.
It is not debatable. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
We will see you again, Lord willing, on the 28th of November. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thanks for using web.